know an assembly of artists like this at, say, the Forum would cost a fortune, right? And as you know, there's been no charge here today. Except in the next 3 hours, if you use the restroom, that's $50. Gotcha, huh? These predictions about the records and the music you're going to hear today, all going to the top, were made by a record industry guru whose publication, The Friday Morning Quarterback, acts as the Bible for the music and radio industries. A man who's been called, and I quote, the single most influential factor in the development of hit records. Cal Rudman is our guest today. And if you can get on the front of that Friday Morning Quarterback, that red sheet, you got a hit. Now I want you to listen to some of the recording stars who will be performing for us over the next 2 days, except here in the studio, which will be the next 3 hours. Chicago is here. It's here right now. It is a rare privilege to welcome these fellas. They're making their first appearance on a talk show here today, and I'm very pleased. During the 70s, they sold over 60 million records with an unbroken string of hits like Does Anyone Know What Time It Is, Saturday in the Park, and If You Leave Me Now. They're continuing that They're continuing that success. I started to sound like Charo here. Their success into the 80s. And this is the album right here. And it's called Chicago 14. Now, the song they're going to do from it is now their single. And wait till you hear it. It's called Thunder and Lightning. Welcome, Chicago. I don't know, it's hard to know who to talk to because they're all stars of the band, right? Well, we'll start with Jim Cancow down here. Jim, why don't you introduce the guys? You have met him, haven't you?
Let's see if I can remember.
Okay.
Walter Perizzator.
You remember?
Marty Grubb.
Right.
Lee Loughnane. Peter Cetera. Bobby Lamb. In the back we have Chris Pennick on guitar. Danny Serafin on drums. And Laugier de Oliveira on percussion.
Right.
I remember.
It was terrific. Now, it's a band that has really stuck closely together. Is there a secret why you have remained when others have left?
I don't talk to each other.
Don't what?
We don't talk to each other.
You don't talk to each other, huh? What do you think, Cal?
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't very visible publicly for a long time. There was a previous manager, and that was the Elvis
Now, you going to
Presley
tell all the
technique.
secrets? Are there?
Well, it was okay. It worked, and now they've come out of the closet that they're really rock.
Wait. Here.
Sorry. Actually, it's a case of being friends as well as business associates.
Right.
Molehills never become mountains. It's a democratic organization. There's no front man, and everybody has an equal say-so. And I think that makes for smooth vibes.
Can they vote a guy down if he gets out of hand?
Oh, yeah.
Do you all live in close proximity? I mean, is it easy? Suppose you want to get together and have a rehearsal or a session. Can you all find each other easily?
Sometimes.
Find a way.
I don't know where I live. I don't know where he lives.
Most of the time, yeah. How many are songwriters in the group? One? Everybody, right? Well, practically.
Everybody, yeah.
I want to know how Thunder and Lightning came to be.
Oh, you do?
Huh?
I can tell you how that happened. We spent 3 months preparing for this album, and during the breaks of the rehearsals, most of the guys would head down to the cabana where there's some pinball games. I hate pinball, so I would just sit and play piano and noodle, and I got the musical idea. Chris and I would just jam together, and the idea came, and then when everybody else walked back into the room, they said, "Hey, what's that? What's that?" And I said, "Well, I don't know yet, but it could be a song."
Who came up with the title, Thunder and Lightning?
Danny wrote the lyrics after coming back from New York.
We were flying back from New York, and the
plane we were on got struck by lightning 2 times.
That's what it takes to make you guys write a song?
Sometimes it takes the craziest things, and that was one of them.
The plane was struck by
Yeah,
lightning?
struck by lightning a couple times, and then...
Was it an omen of some...
Well, that's what I thought. I thought of it as an omen, and I thought about writing a thing about thunder and lightning, you know, thinking about, well, something bad is coming upon us, you know, being a love affair or whatever. And it just kind of evolved from that.
It's wonderful over the years. This band has had the greatest fans. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who knows music or appreciates it or is within a mile of a radio that hasn't heard this musical force. They've had a great impression on the music industry in the world. And now you got your album. What do they have to do?
Well, it's the 14th album, and they are the pioneers of album rock because the first album came out in 1969. So in the world of radio programmers where we live, it's like an oak tree. You can't grow another one. So this album is heavily oriented toward album rock radio, but at the same time, Thunder and Lightning has mass appeal. And they've lived long enough now to span an entire generation of listeners and consumers. So the radio program directors will be clutching this record for the full ARB because it's upper demographics, and now the buys are up to age 54, and you're appealing to the older ones and the younger ones. You're the Frank Sinatra of rock and roll.
Hey! We'll take a break and come back, and once again you'll hear Chicago.
Where it might end.
Yeah. I got to play it. That's what I said.
Well, this is the album. Let me show you that cover once again so you'll recognize. You won't miss that one when you go in the record stores. I want to know whose fingerprint that is. Huh? Large man. King Kong, I think. No two are alike. Who's that on the back?
That's the guy in the front.
Ah, there's the album. And this is, as Cal Rudman says, destined to be a big, big hit. As you'll see right now with a second number from it, The American Dream, Chicago.
Boy, they had that successful comeback album, and now Pete Cetera has left the band. Coming up Friday night, we've got...